All right, David, I got to tell you, man, and you know, we're just getting to know each other, but, you know, most of the other team guys out there know I get super fired up, but the way you talk and the way you verbalize passion to where you can translate what you're thinking, what you're feeling, your past experience is inspiring, man. And, you know, the big challenge, I think, for other people, and you've repeatedly said it over and over in many different ways and in many different, you know, whether you're people following you on the internet, on all social media forums, or at your website, or, you know, when people are listening to you as a badass speaker, you know, the one question they go is, all right, how do I feel that passion? How do I even trigger that passion? So right. what like, for instance, let's do a little shift here. You know, one of the amazing things is this incredible success that the book that you know, the guy Jesse who wrote that book with you, you went and spent 30 days with the guy. Were you ever able to trigger the passion in him through the pain?
I wasn't able to get to that point with him. Because, you know what, one thing in life, yeah, he did a good job and whatever else. But one thing I realized is this about life, man. Once you become civilized, and what civilized is to me.
Yeah, no, that's right, I get it, that's right. Yeah.
Is when you have everything in life you want. When you have chefs and you have nice cars and you have all the money you want. And you have massage therapists coming in and masseuses and you no longer massage your own legs when they're sore. Mm. When your refrigerator's full of caviar and all that shit, it is hard to go to the place of darkness. You have to go when the devil comes knocking at your damn door and says, "Hey, I'm going to mess you up today, son." All you say then is say, "Why am I going to do this? My life is good." That's painful. You fall back on the fact of, why do I need to do this now? Why do I need to do this now? A person that stays hungry and the refrigerator is always empty, you're always trying to go to the next level. So it's hard to get somebody to that level when they have everything they want in life. It's hard. It's hard to make them hungry. And hunger is what makes you want to get in that cold water. It makes you want to run that extra mile. It makes you, when your brain is saying to you at mile 10, when you're supposed to run 20 miles, 10's good enough. But then that guy comes in and says, "Not today, it's not. We're getting 20 fucking miles today." That's what the fuck we're supposed to do. So it just shuts out the person that's hungry. It shuts out that weak voice that we all hear. I hear it. But that's when the evil Goggins comes out and says, "Oh, no. We're not going to make those people right today. All those people who said this about you and that about you and this about you, we're not going to make them correct today. We're going to make them read about you and suffer in a different way. Suffer mentally by knowing you succeeded versus failed like they wanted you to."
Let's say people just never got exposed to hard. They just didn't have the outlet for hard. They didn't know how to make that choice. Is there a place that a human being can do on their own without spending $400 for jiu-jitsu lessons, without spending $150 a month in CrossFit, without whatever? How can people implement hard into their life to kickstart the pain, the fear, all the things that you're professing, which leads to enlightenment?
I got an answer. And this is the answer. It's really hard. Because why? The first step into being hard as shit is you got to, first thing I had to do before I went on this journey of saying, "Goggins, this is who you are." You have to first, before you start down the journey of making goals and say, "I want to be a Navy SEAL, an Army Ranger, I want to be a president." Before you go down that goal list and start making goals, the first thing you have to do is you got to look in that dirty damn mirror every morning and see who you are and handle your insecurities and handle your jealousies. You got to first handle who you truly are. I had to look in the mirror at 16 and say, "Wow, they're calling me a nigger, they're calling me dumb, they're calling me this, they're calling me that." Half the shit was true. That's how you become great, is you realize that you're not great, and you realize you're a liar, you're a cheater, you have no integrity. If you don't have any of that, and you now set these grandiose goals to be great, you're never going to achieve them because, like in Hell Week, we've all been there. When that water gets cold and people come out, you say, hey, why'd you quit? Oh, man, like my hips hurting, or I got a family issue. We make up a lie in the story because why? We haven't dealt with our life, if that makes sense at all. So we're always falling back on our own insecurities because we haven't found out who we truly are. So why most people can't succeed in life and find hardness? Because they're always weak, telling themselves who they are, but they're really not that person. You got to fix who you are to become hard and become really tough, if that makes any damn sense.
It does, man. And I think it's the biggest thing was, and just listening to you talk, bro, and because we've come up together and just watching you kind of grow in the public eye is awesome.
Awesome.
But I think one of the biggest things, now that I have kids, it's kind of important, man, don't get down on yourself. I think a lot of people, once they're scared to take that next step to actually go out and start doing it, start training it because they want to be embarrassed. Being embarrassed is the biggest thing for most people. Unfortunately, me, you, Dave,
ego.
Yeah, we don't have. I embarrass myself all the time in public. You know what I mean?
In your Christmas outfit.
Exactly. So it's kind of one of them deals. And I think the more experience you have, the less apt you are to be embarrassed in public.
Hands down.
And I was telling those kids the other day, or not kids, grown men, before the football game, I was like, hey, man, don't be embarrassed to get trucked over. I mean, hit and snot running. That's what you're out here. It's going to happen. It's part of the game. And I think in everything you do, man, if you're going to get up every morning and push forward to try and accomplish something, embrace those embarrassing moments, too. That's part of it.
Absolutely. It's the character building.
I mean, and people are so set on, I just want to be the good part and all that, man. It's having those embarrassing moments too that help. It helps.
It absolutely does. You
that
know,
make any sense?
It made total sense. No, I mean, it's your own ability for introspection. Like David was saying, you can't lie to yourself. Then you're saying, hey, it's all right to fail. And those are those.
Yeah, don't lie to yourself, but laugh at yourself.
Exactly. I mean, think about all the times where you and for us, I believe a huge component of it was that we were surrounded by other great men, or not great men at the time, but young men striving to become great around each other.
And that cycle starts over and over every generation.
David, I got a quick question for you personally here, as they all have been, and I appreciate your honesty as always. But who do you search for as you're out there on this quest to surround yourself for? Do you search for new teammates? Are there other people that you're coming in contact that can fulfill the quest that the camaraderie that you once had in the teams, the quest? Is there anybody else out there that you come in contact with that you're like, they got a spark in them, they just need a little work?
You know what? I found a few people, man, but I haven't found too many here recently. It's you know, I haven't found many people who really have that drive, man. Just that one thing that they really can't. You know, once you become real passionate about something, it's hard to explain to people because they almost think you're crazy or just gone. You know, and I know a lot of people who probably hear me right now think, God, man, that cat is crazy or gone or whatever. No, it's just passion, man. And nowadays, I haven't run across many people like that, man, because a lot of people, if it doesn't come easy, they don't want it.
Yeah.
It's a 6-minute app society. I want it today, you know, and you got to be patient and you got to persevere.
So is it strictly time in and training that gets you to the point where now you can really are you more dangerous now because it's a focused drive, it's a focused pain, it's a focused fear, or is it just because we're older, wisdom, and life?
I just assume this was every frogman goes into every situation, even if it's changing a diaper, you're going in expecting to take pain, right? It's just beat into us so hard that when you wake up in the morning, we're expecting pain, and if it doesn't show up, then that's great, right?
You know what really has caused me to be able to go somewhere very deep, and a lot of folks cannot do it. What it takes is passion.
Yes.
And
Amen.
what forms that passion is I remember how hard it was for me just to get into the military. I remember my childhood on how I was going nowhere. I was called this. I was called that. I got called nigger my whole damn life. I remember everything so vividly. I remember how hard it was for me to lose 105 pounds in 60 daggone days. And people may not even believe it. But if you do believe it, just imagine with no trainer, no damn Jenny Craig bullcrap, how hard it was to even get in the door to try out to be a SEAL. And the story goes on and on and on. And to even go through 3 hell weeks, everything I do to become a SEAL and Ranger Squad stuff, it builds passion. Most people can't understand how I talk and why I get crazy. What comes out of my brain is I remember what the hell it took for me to get there.
Wow.
That's what brings the passion out of me. So you can't learn that shit. You got to put yourself in hell, survive hell, and then when you talk about going through hell, this is how it sounds. It sounds like you're crazy, but no, you remember the fucking journey it took to go through it.
Well,
That's what you remember. That's what comes out.
right. We know how far we can be pushed.
Well, and how long we were pushed.
Yeah, and what it will
and
take.
how we pushed that.
And what it takes to get us to a certain point now. Once you go far down that rabbit hole, man, and when you come back out of it, any other situation you get into and it starts to get difficult or you get leaned on, man, you're like, it's going to take more than this. I've been here.
Yeah, this is nice. This is comfy. And for David, pretty much everything
talking about.
aside from being 6 feet under is comfy.